We just start kind of.
last note.
I haven't take a ride.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna take a ride.
You guys.
I thought we were gonna
enough.
do 2 rounds. I was saving it for the second one. I was like, okay.
There was more.
Pretty intimidating,
Oh
right?
man, yeah.
Sitting here
I'm
playing
a
with those
rhythm
guys.
guitar player with these guys. Maybe even a bass player.
You guys have been incredible.
Oh man, likewise.
So we forgot a little unison harmony.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
forgot it.
forgot it.
That's alright.
You guys are like, that's like your trademark.
Well, yeah,
One of your
we
trademarks.
do a lot
with
of
Del
harmonies.
Castillo.
Yeah, yeah.
You play stuff in harmony. So, I don't want to ask. I want to talk about the present. We
Right.
could talk about the past a lot, but you guys ever get time to practice together, or
We
No.
never practiced.
how do you do that? I mean, when you play your harmonies or so, you just send each other like
It's like if
text
he,
messages.
Yeah, if he writes something, he'll say, "Hey, harmonize to this." If I write something, I'll send him as harmonize to this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you show up at the rehearsal
it just works.
or at the gig.
Well,
Yeah.
we rehearse it
yeah, okay.
at least
Yeah.
once.
At least once.
We both used to play a lot more, practice
Uh-huh.
and play more individually. Actually,
And probably you can. There's like a little memory you can draw from, right? The
Right.
time you played like earlier and
Yeah, well, I mean,
as kids and stuff.
well, we never played together as kids.
before
No?
this band.
Oh wow, that
We
was
never-
my first question:
yeah.
is who started who? Where did it begin?
By the time I'm 8 years older than him, so
Okay.
by the time I was in, he was like in.
You had a head
was 8
start.
When I was playing in bars.
Okay.
You know, so.
Yeah.
And then when he was playing bars, he didn't want to play bars anymore.
Well, then, I mean, then I left our hometown of Brownsville and I went touring all over America for 6 years solid. So you know, when I came back, he was in college.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know,
and I had already been playing by then.
Mhm.
You know, and-
Caught up to him.
Well, I mean, I always just, for a long time, I was just playing riffs, like Metallica riffs. I never
Okay.
soloed. Like, what Kirk Hammett did was foreign to me, you know, that the whole soloing thing. I remember that. And then he left, it was either him or his guitar tech left a cassette tape of Cacophony, which was Jason Becker and Marty Friedman.
Uh-huh.
He left it or somebody left
must
it
have left it
behind.
What a mistake.
And that was it. It changed my life. I played it because it had the riffs, the heaviness of Metallica, but then the solos were ridiculous. They were like, I was like, what is that?
Uh-huh.
You know, and it blew my mind. That's when I started soloing, trying to learn all that stuff. And
Huh.
that was my main influence was Marty Friedman, you know, growing up solo wise.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then you know, I went off to college like he said, and he went off to Memphis and Seattle, and
in Seattle.
he you know we were never in the same city for a long time.
And did you play acoustic at all back then?
I just dabbled in it, you know.
Yeah. You played electric,
I
man?
played electric, man.
I had all my years of touring, I had a nylon guitar that I would just play in the hotel.
And who were you touring with?
It was a band called Akasha.
Uh-huh.
From Brownsville.
From Brownsville.
We were a trio.
Uh-huh.
So we did like 60% original, 40% cover music.
Okay.
Back doing the rock and roll circuit.
Uh-huh. And you were singing as well?
Singing and playing guitar
Uh-huh.
and keyboards.
Okay,
We were,
wow.
we were a trio, so you know.
Yeah, gotta do everything.
Sold popcorn
Yeah.
at halftime.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, I joined a cover band in college, or yeah, right around there, and that's where I cut my teeth learning all these styles, you know, because the first band I joined, they threw Humble Pie at me, they
Oh, there
threw
you go.
Rush, they threw Thin Lizzy, they threw everything
Yeah.
at me. So I had to learn Stevie Ray and Santana, and I had never tried to play any of these. I was all Metallica.
Yeah. Oh, got a
You
little
know,
shout out to
Stevie
all these
Ray.
guys, yeah.
And so it opened my whole world musically. It was
Yeah.
the best thing that ever happened to me. As
But
a
you
guitar
started
player.
off as a kid. You liked the heavy stuff, the Metallica,
Yeah.
the speed.
And I'll never
riffs.
forget my first rehearsal with that band. They asked us to play Tush.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
couldn't do a shuffle. I was like, and I felt like, I felt this small because
Yeah.
I could go,
You could do the fast stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
and
Funny
I
how
couldn't
that
do a
works.
shuffle.
Uh-huh.
You know, I was like, I gotta go home and practice. You know, and that was.
I have the opposite problem. I can't play fast. I can just
I
play.
can do a shuffle all night long.
But it was.
Easy to get gigs though.
It's a little studio head.
That's a great laugh. That sounds like a laugh.
Yeah.
Oh
Fart
man.
too, I'm not
But that
sure.
was a big eye opener for me. And then
Uh-huh.
yeah, anyway, yeah.
So, I mean, when you were teenagers and so, were you aware of your, Hispanic, Latino kind of roots thing, like Del Castillo, I mean, now? it's just you like the Gypsy Kings from Texas, pretty much. You could
Right on.
if you would market it or look at it. But back then, I mean, were you?
No, we
were just playing music,
we were
right?
just playing music. I mean, we
Yeah.
both grew up playing rock music. You know, what's funny is my guitar hero growing up was Ulrich.
Ah,
Ulrich. You know,
Yeah.
and so I was into the Scorpions and
Scorpions,
Oh,
the
wow.
old Scorpions and Michael Schenker and
which
Richie
you can
Blackmore.
totally hear in your style.
You know, and so that was, I was really into that. But of course, AC/DC and Robin Trower,
Yeah,
Frank
right.
Marino.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, just
Good names there.
just great. I used to roll around on the ground and like doing the whole Angus Young thing with an SG when I was a kid.
Uh-huh. So when did you get the idea of playing together and making the Del Castillo name a brand, or
Well, what's funny is, like I said earlier, I used to travel around with a nylon guitar, and then he was with his band, his rock band Millhouse, and one of the songs that they did was an acoustic nylon song.
It was all it was something I recorded by myself in my apartment, in my closet, apartment at 4 a.m. because it was the quietest time.
That works.
And
It's nice.
Yeah.
And so I had a
Isolated.
one mic in the closet
Good
and
isolation.
I recorded.
Yeah, we do that
I
here.
recorded it, and it was my rock band, but everybody loved that song. Like all the
Okay.
rock fans were like, "This is my favorite track," and it's like complete left field.
Power ballad.
It was
Yeah.
no, it was Latin. It was totally
Latin.
Latin,
Uh-huh.
left field, acoustic, no drums, just solo acoustic. And I was like, man, and I really had a great time playing that, and everybody loved to hear, it, and I started recording more instrumentals like that, and it felt right. It felt like natural for me to play this, and even though I'd never had schooling or whatever, and I started writing more and more of those songs, and then Alex came into the fold, our singer,
Yeah.
and we started writing
Alex
together.
Ruiz.
And
Yeah,
then
give a shout out, Alex
yeah,
Ruiz.
Alex Ruiz. And then we
Yeah.
and then our parents, I forgot how it came about, but we tried to write. I went to Rick and we wanted to do something for our parents.
For a Christmas present. Really.
Christmas present.
And
huh?
and I said,
gift.
well, that's funny. I've been writing songs with other people around, in Austin. And so he showed me his songs, and I have a studio, and I showed him my songs. So he said, why don't we do this as a Christmas present? And, and I was giving guitar lessons then. And
What year was that? Do you
That
remember?
was 1999.
2000.
99.
Yeah,
99.
It's a good gift. It's free.
Yeah,
Your
right.
time.
It
You
was-
don't have to go buy anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
parents
I'll give
love
you-
that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
They
sentimental
love
value.
especially
Yeah.
16th notes. They love 16th notes.
60s. No.
Yeah,
Sweet spot.
not the 30-second notes.
No, no dotted eights.
Yeah, but so we did this recording of our songs, and one of my students was an attorney in Austin, and I'd be playing. This is over a course of 6 months. Hey, check out this song. Hey, check out. And one day he said, "I'm sick of hearing these songs. You guys got to put a band together and play at my
Original.
I'm having a party, a
fraternity party, yeah.
party,
Uh-huh.
and you guys got to play." I'm like, okay, and like I played bass on the first album, because we weren't even a band, and
But
So it was you, Alex, you two, and Alex.
It was
and
really,
Alex,
it
the
was
drummer, or-
really three of us, right? That recorded me, Alex, and Rick. And then we had Mike. We had friends play the other parts, like Mike, our best friends. And Bert played bass on. Our,
So you
on
knew
a cou-
Mike already, the drummer.
well, he was
Bert-
in the same band.
Yeah, Mike was in Millhouse, the rock band that I was
Okay,
in.
okay.
And so I was like, and we always played Latin metal. He knew how to play. I knew how he knew how
Yeah.
to play samba stuff, and
Yeah.
so I was like, Mike's got to be our drummer, because he already got that vibe.
We also had a drummer friend of ours, Cecilio Ruiz, who
yeah.
played on a couple of tracks, and Lonnie Trevino played bass player with the South
Yeah.
Right.
South Austin Moonlighters. He played on
Wait,
it.
Cecilia is a percussion player, no?
Cecilio's a drummer
Oh,
and great drummer.
Uh-huh.
He used to be with the Heebie Jeebies. Do you know Eddie Hernandez with the Heebie Jeebies?
yeah. Well, I was.
Well, actually, now it's not the Heebie
88
Jeebies.
front.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But okay, so wait, who's that percussion player that played
Michael
Los,
Erdy?
Los Lonely Boys later?
Oh,
It's not
that was Carmelo.
Carmelo.
Carmelo?
Oh,
He was with
Cecilia
us.
Carmelo. I
Yeah.
confused the names.
They
Yeah.
both start with
Okay,
C.
okay. Yeah.
And-
Well, we got
Yeah,
shout out
South
here.
Assistant.
How great Austin
Yes.
percussionist.
Ed, you just named every percussionist.
Yeah.
Oh, there's plenty of
With
more.
80 mile
I don't have
radius.
to go like this.
And so we just, we ended up playing that party, and so we decided, well, let's make CDs and maybe we'll sell one or two. And what's funny is we ended up selling 14 at this thing, and I asked my student, I said, did you tell your clients, did you force them to buy our album? And he's like, no, they did it on their own. I was like, cool.
Let me guess.
That's
And then
good
the
amount.
guy with the cigar showed up.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
I've
Yeah.
been waiting for you guys.
yeah, pretty much. But the funny thing is,
That's how the story goes.
Yeah,
Put you in a van for 10 years, and
Yes.
no money.
Yeah, you guys would love it. Well,
Hundreds
they
of
did that
dollars.
20 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
the funny thing is, before that even happened, when we were still recording, the first song we ever recorded was the first song on our first album, Mi Cariño, and Rick wrote that with a guitar student of his, and he said, "Hey, this is a great vibe," and I was like, "Okay." So he goes, "You do it. I'll do the first solo. You do the second solo." And I was like, "Okay." And so I was like, first of all, I didn't think I was ever gonna have to play this again, you know. So I was like, and I was listening to Struns and Farah like a lot, you know, and I was like, I'm gonna do my best to imitate these guys are my heroes, right? So I went home and I practiced my butt off, and I metronomed, and I woodshed it and finally, and I was
You wanted to outdo him, pretty much.
No, I didn't know what he was gonna solo. I just knew I wanted.
He's like,
wanted it to be
yeah.
good.
I knew I wanted to throw down. I
Right.
didn't know what his solo sounded like.
Right,
but
right.
I just
But
wanted to go in there.
It was like a little studio project for you,
Right.
To
And-
make the most kick-ass badass solo you could come up with.
And I remember, I'll never forget. We had Thanksgiving that year of 2000. 2000. We had Thanksgiving in Kerrville with my sister and my brother-in-law, and Rick and I drove over there, and I took my guitar and I was practicing my guitar all day. I just was in practice mode, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It was one of those where I didn't have kids. It's like my guitar was my kid. And,
Right.
And I played all the way there and played all the way back while he drove. And I said, I'm ready to record that solo.
Got it now.
But as soon as we got back from Thanksgiving dinner at his studio, I said, I'm ready to record. We recorded that solo Thanksgiving night.
Wow.
And I threw down, and I was all proud of myself. And then he's like, hey, we got to play the songs live. I was like, no,
You should've
I
told
got to
me that.
practice. It's like, so that was, for me, that was like, okay, I already set a bar
You
for
set the
myself.
bar, yeah.
And honestly, it was the best thing that ever happened to me as a guitar player, because I was real relaxed, like real lazy with myself. Like I wasn't pushing myself at all. I was like in a kind of rut. So it forced me to
Kind
practice.
of bar mode, kind of.
Yeah, totally, exactly. And so it kicked me out of that and forced me to practice and really try to get better again. You know, and I hadn't done that since I was 13, 14. You know, like you know,
Yeah.
I hadn't been that intense about it, and then it really reinvigorated that for me. And it was.
And then
really
the
great.
real kids came.
And then and now I'm back
Now he
in
plays
bar mode.
now he plays
right.
whole notes.
Yeah, exactly.
Coldplay.
Like, wake up.
Yeah, right.
With lots of delay.
Yeah, that first solo. What's funny is I said I'm gonna I'll play the first solo. Generally, what's funny about our songs, usually he plays the first solo, but like there's only 2 or 3 songs that I play the first solo. And I said, well, I'm just gonna kind of set it up and you go do your thing. So my solo was, I wasn't trying to outdo myself.
I thought you were gonna say, and then I listened to his solo and I harmonized the whole thing,
Right.
Yeah.
and that was the Del Castillo.
No, you know
because
what?
that's what it sounds like sometimes.
Well,
You
it's
know, you
funny
have-
because there were times where the rest of the songs
Yeah.
on the album, I was working day job and Rick was teaching, and he would say, hey. He called me at work. I'll never forget. He called me like, "Hey, I recorded the solo for Mexican Lounge Lizard."
That's a-
And he played it to me over the phone. And he's like, "I recorded the solo. You got to harmonize it." And I was like, "Okay, play it." And then he played it. I'm like, "It's like, all right." I was like, and I hung up. I was like, "All right, I gotta go start the engine and go woodshed." It's like, but that's good. That's
Yeah.
what I needed.
So
I needed that.
It was a healthy relationship of you pushing each
Yeah.
other.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Musically, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's with brothers. It's such a strong dynamic because you grow up, already when you're playing, like I want what he has,
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a brother too, but he's like 9 years younger. Well, but you're
Really?
that far
Yeah,
apart.
He's
Yeah.
8 years younger. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's
So
a
I
big
didn't feel
difference.
that I was gone already pretty
Yeah.
much when he was a teenager. So
Because I had done all my touring for
Uh-huh.
the entire 80s. I would tour 10 months out of the year. So I'd be
Uh-huh.
home for 2 months, and then we'd be rehearsing, learning new stuff, and writing new
Right.
stuff. So yeah, it was interesting. That's when
nice.
we really started working together, or hanging out together in Austin.
But then things came pretty quickly. Right? Once you had that band together,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
we did that. We did the first album, then we finally put a band together. And what's funny, because we did that lawyer party, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we all looked at each other and said, well, we practiced for a week. Why
Yeah,
don't we
you gotta do something now.
Do
Well,
some
let's-
gigs.
So we said, why don't we do at least one gig? And Danny Crooks saw us at
the Vibe.
At the Vibe, and so he said, you guys got to start.
That was our
playing."
first official gig.
That was my question.
Danny
question.
Crooks.
Yeah, Danny Crooks.
And we had I didn't expect the response we got. You know, we had all.
That's a good feeling.
It's because all our friends knew us from our other bands.
Yeah, they wanted
and
to
so
see
they wanted to
together.
see us play together because we'd never played together.
Our
So
bass
it's-
player alone brought in 100
Yeah.
people Albert,
on the guest list.
for the first
Yeah, 80 of them on the guest list, but hey.
But I mean, yeah. So there was like 300 people at our first gig, and so like all the club
Whoa.
owners like, wow, I want to hire you guys.
You do this every week?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we played. Well, actually, what's funny, we played the Vibe 1 or 2 times, and then we switched over to the newer Steamboat, which was on Riverside in
And
Congress.
Danny Crooks was the booker of that?
Yeah.
Danny Crooks ran that along with Paul
Okay.
Avesi.
Paul was already there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Paul Avesi, and then he ended up going to Momo's.
Yeah.
And so
Paul Avesi.
actually, Paul Avesi. Actually, we
Momo's.
played Momo's
There you
before.
are.
Yeah,
before he, Carl was one of the first people I met when I came to Austin. Cecilio was in a band, and he knew Carl, and so I got Carl to mix our second album, Vida, and he started working with Robert Rodriguez, and so Robert asked him, "Hey, do you know any bands? I'm looking for a Los Lobos type of band in Austin." He goes, "I know."
Actually,
I know exactly the band.
Actually, I do.
So that's what we started working with.
Wow.
I didn't even know this progression. What
We could fire it
can,
back up.
Can you show me the progression?
Which one?
The one that you were saying that you wanted
Oh,
to play.
that's
band
just a
was
Led Zeppelin song.
Oh, babe, I'm gonna leave
Baby.
you.
Was that chord before the D minor?
What's that?
F. F? No, like on
It's like a D sharp major 7 with an A bass. It's just an A minor shape. That cool English sound.
like it. Let's start it over one more time.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna do 1 round each or 2 rounds? Because we're gonna do 1 round.
Let's
think
make
how
it a
long
little
the song-
shorter and then do some trading.
5 minutes.
You know, let's make it a little more interactive.
Okay.
Because we already
25.
showed off.
I wasn't showing up.
You were
I was just warming up. I was like, here's a clinic in whole notes. Okay,
Metronome, retro click track.
That's a whole nother section.
It was so awesome to have you guys here. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Put you in a
Thank
train.
you. Yeah, right?
And
We're starting a store called Whole Notes R Us.
I'm looking forward
Instead
to
of Whole Foods, it's Whole Notes.
Is everything twice as expensive?
Yeah, and Amazon just bought us out.
Oh, dang. Drone delivery.
So for everybody watching this show, please give a warm round of applause for the Del Castillo brothers. And we're going to be back here in 2 weeks when it's again Austin Guitar Heaven.
Right on.
Awesome.
You got a theme song?
Yeah.
All right.
Pop it in there.